Hello everyone, I am the Worm, and welcome. Welcome back to Danganronpa V3. Today's the day. Today's the day we start the final trial. Yes. And, as per usual, before any trial, I'm feeling a bit nervous. I feel like it's a bit amplified, considering this is gonna be it. It'll probably be, as far as I know, my last Danganronpa trial ever. At least, as far as I'm aware, I don't think they've created any other Danganronpa games other than this. So, I mean, maybe there are side games I'm not aware of, or maybe there's been some kind of spiritual successor, or there have been other games that do something very similar. I mean, you know, we have the what are they? The Ace Attorney games, you know. So it's not like there's not gonna be other games with similar ideas, but you know, this is gonna be the last Danganronpa trial. So I mean, I feel like there's some extra gravitas thrown in here on this occasion. So, rather than stalling, let's get into this thing. Let's actually begin looking at the various truth bullets we have here and see what we can put together before we actually start. And there's a lot to go over here. I feel like this video may be quite long, so let's not waste time. History of Hope's Peak. Found in the Ultimate Supreme Leaders Research Lab, this book details the history of the battle between hope and despair. The afterword claims it was compiled by several esteemed researchers, and it is the most thorough and accurate book written on the subject. However, it contradicts the memory Shuichi and Maki received from the flashback light. I don't remember if... I don't think they specified it, and I'm not sure if that's something we were supposed to put together right then and there. Maybe it was. Because... it was it the... We've had a couple flashback lights. There was the one we received before the previous trial, and then there was the one that we got at the end of the last trial. If it's talking about the history of the killing games, then I'm assuming it's going to be the one that we received prior to the penultimate trial. And I can't recall specifically what that showed us. So that might be an issue. If it really comes down to it, I could pause and then, you know, go back into my own video, or my own videos, and see precisely what it was that flashback light showed us. But I think we'll wait. We'll wait to see if that's necessary. The key passages of the documents are as follows. The cause of the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history was the ultimate despair. Yep. The term ultimate despair can refer to both the group and the events caused by Junko Enoshima. In order to plunge the world into despair, the ultimate despair plotted the killing of Hope's Peak's 78th class. To protect themselves from the tragedy, the 78th class sealed themselves inside Hope's Peak Academy as part of the Hope's Peak Academy Shelter Project. Ooh, I don't know why that was hard to say. Hope's Peak Academy did not admit students by application. The only way to be admitted was by being scouted. Yes. Yes, indeed. Okay. So, conflict between the official history and Shuichi's memories. And Maki's memories. That's the point of that. Kokichi's motive video, one of the videos distributed as the motive in Kurumi's case. Though most of the videos ended up with the wrong person, Kokichi got his own. Excuse me, how convenient. According to the video, Kokichi was the leader of a secret society named DICE. Together with his 10 underlings, he committed non-violent crimes and harmless pranks around the world. Excuse me. So, yes. Clearly, this is meant to have us reevaluate the character of Kokichi and everything he's done thus far. I don't know why I'm saying thus far. He's everything he did. I don't think he'll have the ability to influence things now. Sorry, 1 second. Ugh. I feel like I'm right at the tail end of this cold. It's just, I'm still, every so often, like my throat is irritated and ugh. Okay. So yes. I'm not sure exactly where in the trial this is going to pop up. I mean, are we going to rehash the whole is Kokichi a remnant of despair thing? Because this is clearly meant to show that is not the case. Beyond that, just sort of contextualizing who Kokichi was as a person, I suppose. And yes, when we get to the epilogue, we'll have the whole talk on him and his actions. Okay, Monokuma. Or excuse me, Killing Game. Monokuma is particular about the Killing Game's rules and making sure it's exciting, almost like the Killing Game is meant to be shown. In addition, it's very similar to the Killing Games held by Junko Enoshima in the past. Kokichi claimed that this Killing Game was being watched by someone. Okay, that's been drilled into us pretty hard at this point. Okay, so this truth bullet. Monokuma's a stickler for the rules. Games being watched by someone. Or someones. Two mysterious messages. Two different messages found in the courtyard. The first message said, "This world is mine, Kokichi Oma." However, when first discovered by Gonta, it said Horse A. The second message said Twins B. It was found on the wall next to the boiler. It's interesting to me that this is a truth bullet. Now, clearly, it seems like we've already, we needed it to open the safe in Rantaro's room. What was the... How did Kokichi find out? I don't think we had that answered. Yeah, okay, so the two messages were the hint to get in the thing, the why am I blanking? I just said it. The safe, the whatever. And then the other message, this world is mine, Kokichi Oma, it was a part of Kokichi's deception, attempting to convince everyone he was the mastermind. Not sure how this would pop up in the trial, but maybe. Rantaro's video message, a video file found on the USB stored in the vault in the Ultimate ? I should just say Ultimate Survivors Research Lab. That is certainly not the vibe you get when you walk into that room. At least I didn't. I got almost something like vampire. But, Ultimate Survivor? Not so much. Okay. It is a message from Rantaro before he lost his memories to himself. After he lost his memories... To himself. Message to himself after he lost his memories, I see. According to the message, Rantaro was the ultimate survivor and had participated in a previous Killing Game. Yes, I think that'll be pretty key. So the two relevant parts of this truth bullet. This is about Rantaro's identity as the ultimate survivor. And his participation in previous Killing Game. So his past, basically. And the fact that this is a message from Rantaro to himself because of the memory loss. Okay. Gopher project participant list. A document found in the cold sleep room. Written on it are the profiles of all the participants in the Gopher project. According to this document, Kaede has a younger twin sister. Boy, did this just... It feels like it just came out of nowhere and just... You're slapped with this. And it's suddenly... Wow, okay. And considering some of the stuff we found later, involving the mastermind room, I'm not sure what to think right now, but we'll get to that. Okay, so she's on Kaede and this younger sister, who we didn't get a name for, by the way. That seems odd. Since, you know, it's on the list. Why would they... I mean, other than... I mean, it's... I know they do this. It's Danganronpa. They will keep things vague and just prevent us from knowing things so that we can figure it out in the trial. But this one seems kind of especially egregious, considering both characters, I think it was Tsumugi and Shuichi, are looking at the list, and they both read it and know it, but we, the audience, are just not allowed to know. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not going to say anything more about this. I'm going to wait till we get to the other ones. Other truth bullets. BugVac, a vacuum device for capturing bugs. It was found in the Ultimate Inventor's research lab. Thought to have been designed by Kokichi to check whether or not the tiny bugs Gonta sometimes saw were real. Although it's still a prototype, it is functional and shows signs of use. However, it doesn't seem to have captured any bugs. I'm curious if he used it. Was he able to use it before or after Gonta died? Because imagine if Gonta hadn't been dead by that point. He could have showed this to Gonta. And then Gonta would have confirmed for Kokichi that there were indeed the tiny bugs. Although I'm not sure if that has anything to do with what we're doing now. Just a curiosity. And we'll get to how this is more relevant with another truth bullet, I think. So let's continue. Mother Kuma, a giant Monokuma head in the glass case. It was hidden... it was in the hidden room in the back of the library. There's a machine that creates spare bodies for Monokuma and copies his thoughts over to them. Okay. And we also know now that it'll only happen if the mastermind says birth. And I am very curious how that... I mean, that seemed like a pretty big moment for Shuichi there, when he learned that. So I'm curious how that part of the equation is going to enter in here. Especially since Mother Kuma is destroyed now. So it's not like we can go and check. Shot put ball with pink fiber. Found inside the trash can in the hidden room. There were no bloodstains on the shot. It is different from the one used to kill Rantaro. Pink fibers were found on it. I'm trying to think. Didn't she take more than one? Kaede, I mean... Remember, they did that whole, vague... It was that thing where... They... You know, because when we were playing as Kaede, we were from her point of view, and yet they worded some things so vaguely that we weren't able to tell what she was up to. But I'm trying to remember... And, for example, it was something like, I put the things in my bag, or something like that. And, of course, we weren't told what the things were. I feel like I remember her taking more than one shot put ball, but I am not certain on that. And again, I did look... Miyu has some, I kind of borders on pink and purple to me, if I'm remembering right. And then Kaede had that pink vest on top of her uniform. Or was it part of her uniform? Either way, it was pink. She was wearing pink. So, I suppose it's that, unless it's a trick. But, okay. It's in the trash can in the hidden room, which only the mastermind would be able to get into, except that we did find there was the secret bathroom route. But I suppose it's the same thing, since only the mastermind would know about that, supposedly. So what does that mean? Does it mean, Kaede's the mastermind? Or, excuse me, we don't even know if it's Kaede. It could be... We saw a girl, in one of the cutscenes with Mother Kuma, and it looked like someone... It looked like Junko's silhouette. What, is it either Kaede or Kaede's little sister? I mean, if we're dealing with someone who has a Junko obsession, which all Remnant of Despair people tend to have, then I wouldn't be too surprised to find someone cosplaying as Junko. Which you know what that means? You know what that means? It confirms that, for sure, not that this was a serious concern for me at the moment, it confirms that Tsumugi can't have been that person, because she has the disease where she can't cosplay as other people, so she's safe. Tsumugi, we can trust you 100%. There we go. Okay. So, what's the deal here? Are Kaede and her sister, were they remnants of despair, and so obsessed with Junko that they wanted to in putting together this homage to Junko's killing game, they've recreated even the relationship between Junko and Mukuro? Is that what we're saying here? At least, that is the story or truth being presented here, maybe? Because we're gonna have to talk about what truth is. Truth, quote-unquote. I'm doing little, what are the inverted commas? Quote-unquote. That thing. Yeah, so... Boy, I don't know what to think. I'll admit, I'm gonna be kinda sad if that's the case, because I really liked Kaede. She had that kind of pure, hopeful spirit, at least she presented it as such. And I was kinda liking the Shuichi Kaede dynamic. If that turns out to be a lie, I'm gonna be somewhat sad. Because I think I kind of... Excuse me. I think I would have liked the game if Kaede stuck around and we had this kind of team up. Although we did get some of that with our little triumvirate of Kaito, Maki, and Shuichi. I would have liked Kaede in that mix. Don't know what to think now, though. Okay, let's hold on that. Survivor's perk monopad. A monopad given to Rantaro for being the ultimate survivor. Clue to end the killings. Okay, let me read this separately. Excuse me. Clue to end the killings. The mastermind who is behind the killing game is hiding somewhere within the academy. Your best chance of exposing them is when Monokuma needs a spare. That makes sense, now that we know that the mastermind needs to go there and say birth. At that time, the mastermind will go to the library's hidden room. To prove this hint is accurate, I would predict something. The first thing you will remember is the ultimate hunt. Which past Rantaro would know if past Rantaro played through a very similar killing game in which remembering something was part of the game. Only share this information with people who you know you can trust. He didn't share it with anyone, so I mean, fair enough. It was the beginning of the game. Who are you going to trust at that point? Yeah. I do want to save some suspicion for Rantaro here. Hang on, I need another drink. Okay. Excuse me. I want to save some suspicion here. I'm going to put forward a crazy theory. I feel like there's a few things that other... It's this clue. This clue is this flashback light settings is the one that's, is the most pertinent here. But I'm going to say it now, because it's relating to my suspicion for Rantar here. Here's my crazy theory. I do think we're dealing with a loop situation. Now again, I do not understand or know what the mechanics are, or whether it's real or not. Real in the sense of... Sorry. Real in the sense of, are these actual live people, or are they alter egos, or characters of some sort, or computer graphics, you know, virtual world stuff. I don't understand what layer of reality we're dealing with, but this whole memory manipulation thing, and I'm pretty sure, as I mentioned either last episode or the episode before, I'm pretty sure I had these kinds of questions very early on when the concept of flashback lights were brought up. The fact that different truths, quote-unquote, seem to be able to be on the table here, it seems like the scenario... So the killing game loops for somehow and resets, and it looks like the scenario behind these killing games can change. Alright? So we saw that. One of the options was there are other survivors other than just us. It looks like in this version of the killing game, of what we're playing right now, we're the only survivors. But apparently there are other memories where there are other survivors. So, that being the case, I want to throw out this theory. What if it's not only the scenario's sort of background information that changes? What if it could be things like much more personal? And one of those being the role of mastermind. So, you know, just this crazy idea. What if you know, I don't know how they're making these memories, but say maybe this time it's or what if last time, what if it was Rantaro? What if he was the mastermind or something like that? And what if now this time it's Kaede or something like that? And what if that can change over and over and over again? So at least that's, and that was I don't know. It's just some of the things past Rantaro said, like this killing game, this is what you wanted, or something like that. That leads me to be suspicious of him. And then when I'm trying to put together all these other weird things, that's kind of the idea that popped in my head. Although, I don't know. Like, could our ultimate abilities swap around? Like, Shuichi's the ultimate detective this time, but what if they could, you know... I mean, that was... Although that's pretty deep. They've had their memories of being ultimates taken from them. But did that mean they lost their ultimate ability as such? Or what? I'm not sure exactly how deep it goes. Anyway, just want to throw it out there. Because I don't know exactly how deep this memory manipulation or memory construction thing, I don't know how deep it goes. Okay, sorry for that aside. Wanted to get it out there. Clues to the mastermind. According to Mother Kuma, the mastermind goes to the hidden room in the library quite often. In addition, the classroom that creates flashback lights reverts to its original state when its door is open. It seems as though the person operating it was being cautious not to be seen by anyone. Oh, okay. Ominous figure. Hidden door in the library. To enter the hidden room from the library, a key card is needed. However, when exiting to the library from the hidden room, no card key is needed. Although I suppose... I guess it wouldn't work for ultimates, because I just realized... you couldn't really do that with Kibo, huh? So, maybe it doesn't go that deep. The whole memory stuff. Okay, flashback light settings. Flashback lights can be made in the classroom on the second floor. There are 4 categories for the type of flashback light. Excuse me. That can be created. The survivors, the outside world, the killing game, the participants. Ooh, the participants. I'd be curious. I really wish Shuichi would have... You know, we only clicked on... Was it outside world or survivors? We only clicked on one. I'd be really curious to see what those other options were. From those basic categories, several options are available. Yeah. Excuse me. Hidden room passageway, secret passageway hidden in the back of the supply closet in the girls' bathroom on the first floor. It is connected to the hidden room in the back of the library. This passageway was not even shown on the map of the school in the Survivor perk monopad. Only the mastermind knew about it. Or is that just what is that just what past Rantaro wanted future Rantaro to know? That's the thing. Again, going back to how deep does this memory manipulation go? Would a past culprit Rantaro want to keep future not culprit Rantaro in the dark like that? I don't know. I'm not sure how all this works or what's on the table. Regarding that. Sorry about this. Sorry. Final picture of Rantaro, the photograph taken by the camera facing the hidden door in the library during Kaede's case. It was discovered in Kokichi's room. Rantaro is pictured trying to remove the camera. Not sure what's relevant about this, but Shuichi seems to think it is decisive in some way. He has the monopad there. Presumably the one that we find... Ooh, ouch, that hurt. Gotta stretch more. Okay. I guess the thought maybe is that if that's the monopad that we found in the room, how did it end up there? Maybe? But I'm not sure how this picture confirms or denies that. Or wait. Am I crazy? Or hang on a second. No, he's always... I'm just looking at the picture now. What is his necklace exactly? It's not a USB stick, is it? No. Surely we would have... Surely that would have been more pertinent at some point already. No, not sure about this. The 6th Monocub. Wow, wasn't this a surprise? And I mean that sincerely. I'm not... I may have said that a bit deadpan, but this is pretty crazy. Named Nanokuma, they are collectively the 6th member of the Monocubs. The true identity of the tiny bug is Gonta thought he saw. They are so small that they cannot be seen by normal human eyes. They exist as a hive mind rather than as individuals. They fly around the academy and use their cameras to take footage, which is then wirelessly sent to Mother Kuma. Mother Kuma parses the footage. Mother Kuma parses the footage and then sends it off to Monokuma in the academy. Okay, Mother Kuma. I mean, okay. What can I say about this? It's crazy, and I'm not sure how it'll be used in the trial. I mean, when they've discovered it, they talked about how, you know, this is why Kokichi's grenade was so good, but how... I mean, I guess it just lets us know how some of how this place works. Okay, this is getting pretty difficult. Mother Kuma's voice print system. Mother Kuma recognizes the Mastermind's voice and cannot create spare Monokumas without their command. Okay, that was a separate truth bullet than this one. Good to know. What was it called? Okay, just more explanation. Yeah, okay. So, where does that leave us? Where does that leave us? Let's look at this. Oh, I found, by the way, I looked at this before starting. This is the this is the one that I was recommended, this delusion skill. And yeah, it looks really useful. It looks really darn useful. And yes, the reason why I haven't picked it is just because I do not have enough points, and I decided not to care about the casino, so I didn't get it that way either. So, yeah. Not gonna have it this time either, which is a shame. Yeah, both of these would be incredibly useful. Okay. Alright. So, where does that leave us? I guess... let's just talk about the big truths. Actual truths that we know. Or that we're pretty sure of. I'm pretty sure there's some kind of loop going on. We're pretty sure that the memories and the scenario of the killing game can change from each iteration. Kaede's... Hang on, I need to get more water. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I got some water, and if I sound a bit weird going forward, I got some throat. Excuse me. I got some throat lozenges. So I didn't realize just how painful this was going to be. But hopefully these things should help a bit. Okay, I didn't even think to get them before starting this, but okay, let's hope that can get me through this. So, major truths, that's what we were saying. So there's Lupin. There's shifting memories and scenarios. And so, the question that remains is, this whole enterprise that's going on here, to what end is this? To what end is this whole thing being put on for? Because clearly, in the scenario that we seem to be going through, if we just take things at face value, everyone else is dead. And yet, we keep having this idea of people are watching drilled into us. And of course, that leads us back to that one cutscene we saw with that kid, Makoto, saying he watches something that gives him hope. So, putting everything together, forming a kind of thought or a theory about all this, I'm wondering, and before I likened it to a play with actors, but essentially, what if this is all some kind of show? A Danganronpa show. And it just, in that sense, it's eternal in that it keeps getting played, and there are maybe different seasons. And so it's eternal in that sense. Maybe it's just extremely popular, and so there's always demand for it. Now, of course, that idea raises some questions and concerns. For one, if that is the case, what does it mean for Shuichi to be discovering all of this? It would be, I mean, for this to be a kind of player show, it's akin to having the actors or characters breaking the fourth wall. And of course, this also goes back into the question of, are these real flesh and blood people, or are they, constructions of some sort, robots or AI? So, yeah, that's a thought that pops into my head. Now, of course, it being the first theory for this, for the overarching what's going on, I'm sure it'll either be wrong or incomplete. But something I want to keep in mind, I think. And as for the concerns, it then calls into question how, what are the stakes really? Because this whole time we were kind of invested in the situation, and one of these characters to succeed and escape the killing game. But what does that really mean in for this scenario that I just laid out? If it's all just a show, or a construction of some sort. Because if that is the case, then Monokuma may very well be right, and that there is no escape. It's because it's all intentional. And it would also mean, having our characters be able to just return kind of takes the sting of their deaths away. But we're still pre-trial. We're all just we're just theorizing here. So thing is, I don't Because if we're playing it straight, and these are our characters having their memories taken over and over again, you know, that can be quite a horrific scenario. Being forced to play this game over and over again. But I can't help but feel that there's something beyond that that makes me question. I don't know. Really curious what Shuichi's got up his sleeves here, because he seems to be pretty confident in victory at this point. Of course, Monokuma does too, but it might be for different reasons. And remember, we had that one truth bullet talking about how was it worded precisely? Making sure it's exciting. Yeah. That's leading me to think, you know, meant to show people, meant to make it exciting. Okay, I think I've officially reached the I'm rambling stage. Boy, my throat's killing me. 41 minutes in. Let me take a final break, and then let's at least start this thing. I'm not sure you guys would forgive me if I started this video with saying I was going to start the trial, and then I didn't start the trial. So, hang on. Let me take a quick break, and then when we get back, we'll at least start it and see how far we get. We might have to... This trial might have to be, well, if we consider the two halves of the trial and then the end of the chapter, I usually do that in 3 episodes. We might have to do this in 4. 1 second. Alright. I'm back. Let's go ahead and start this thing. Let's at least get kind of the opening out of the way. See how things are going to go. And then if I get to a place that feels like a good moment to stop, I think I'll just take it. Man, if my throat weren't killing me, I feel like I'd just go and go and go until I get to the halfway mark, but let's see how it goes. Let's just do this thing. Alright, everybody. Brace yourselves for Danganronpa V3's final trial. Hey guys.
I'd like to begin by asking Shuichi a question, since this class trial was his idea. What exactly is the point of this class trial?
Very good question. Thank you, Monokuma. I would guess either the truth of the killing game or the identity of the mastermind is going to be the point of his, or the main thrust of his arguments here.
Yeah! Why are we having a class trial if no one died? Whoa! My voice was way louder than I expected. I might be on a roll today.
Hey! I'm no slouch at being a loudmouth either!
Me too.
Monodem's voice is super soft, though. Everyone cool with him getting blown up?
You said that the killing game would end if you exposed the truth at the class trial. So, you bastards, what is the purpose of this class trial?
Oh, that's a good question. But his voice was quiet. Does force volume not matter at all?
All right, I'll give you an answer. The reason I called for this trial is...
Retry a past case.
That's it!
I think.
I wish to retry a past case.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Now that we know that Kaede has a twin sister. Oh man, I should have looked back. It said Gopher list participant list, right? I don't think it specifically said why the twin sister's name was on the list. It just said that Kaede had a twin sister. Wait, was it twin specifically? Younger twin sister, yeah. But it was kind of vague. It didn't I'm not sure if it implies that the younger twin sister was involved in the Gopher project, or if it's just, it lists who the person is and then just, gives a little description about, their family and where they came from and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it doesn't look like it looking at the image, but I'm not sure how far we can take that. Okay, but now that we know she has a younger twin sister, I'm gonna guess Shuichi's thinking, okay, we may have a false identity here.
A retrial?
For which case?
The first one, the murder of Rantaro Amami. I've found new evidence relevant to the case. In light of that evidence, I demand a retrial.
What's the point of a retrial? The result of the first-class trial has already been settled. Yeah!
What if our vote was wrong?
Wrong!
Wow. I have to try and think. I mean, I've been theorizing kind of what's going on at the higher levels. But you have to think, and again, assuming these aren't just characters, but assuming these are, I mean, obviously they're characters. I understand that. But put in your head, in place with these people here, imagining what it would be like for Shuichi, who, if you'll recall, in the first trial was the one to finally point the finger at Kaede, at her behest, essentially. How weird this must feel. I mean, what kind of complicated emotions must he be feeling? Because, for one, that was extremely sad to do that. The first trial was pretty good because of how effective it was at that, I think. But now, if we're thinking there's been some kind of deception, yeah, complicated feelings.
Monokuma said the blackened for that incident was Kaede.
You saying he was wrong?
Either it wasn't Kaede, or either Kaede didn't kill, or it was an imposter. Or the imposter killed and Kaede took the blame. I feel like you could go at this from a bunch of different angles.
What?
Mono-Kid, your reactions are too extreme. It's making the rest of us look bad.
Oh shit! He's already got the detonator!
To test the validity of our vote, we're going to retry the entire case.
Interesting.
If Monokuma was wrong, the validity of these trials would be in question.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was that was Kokichi's whole gambit to mess with Monokuma and mess with his ability to conduct the trial. Oh, this is good. I like this, Shuichi.
The entire killing game wouldn't make sense anymore.
I see. You think you can destroy the game by calling out my failure as the game master.
You shouldn't have a problem with this if you have nothing to hide, Monokuma.
So in the end, the first case has become the focal point yet again. What a twist! What an interesting twist! Okay, let's do this!
So what is this new truth?
There are several. But before we go any further, I want to discuss Rantaro's talent.
Did you learn what his talent was?
That's it! He was the ultimate survivor.
Ultimate survivor?
I saw it too. He said so in his video.
Yeah, now that I look at it a bit more, maybe not a USB.
Rantaro became the ultimate survivor after surviving a past killing game. After his memory was wiped, he participated in the killing game once again.
So this wasn't Rantaro's first killing game?
Why did he participate in a second killing game?
I'm not sure yet. But after I learned that Rantaro was the ultimate survivor, I deduced his objective.
Rantaro's objective?
The reason he went to the library before he was killed, and why he knew about the hidden door.
Didn't he just happen to randomly notice the hidden door?
That's what I thought at the time, but it appears that assumption was false. There was an actual reason Rantaro knew about the door. That's it!
Fairly straightforward so far.
Rantaro was given this monopad as a kind of survivor perk. It has a map of the entire academy, including areas that had not yet been unlocked. Of course, that includes the hidden room.
To think Rantaro was given that as a survivor perk.
He found out about the hidden room with this map?
The monopad also contained a video Rantaro recorded for himself.
If the Mastermind ever needed a spare Monokuma, they would head to the hidden room.
The message was what inspired him to go to the library to investigate the hidden room.
The Mastermind would have gone to that room to mass-produce Monokuma once time ran out. So, in order to figure out who the Mastermind was, Rantaro went to the hidden room at the back of the library just before time ran out.
That's right. Rantaro must have come to the same conclusion that Kaede and I did.
Sure is ironic that the ultimate survivor died because of Kaede's trap.
But if Rantaro had a clue like that, why didn't he come to us with it?
I assume because he didn't trust us. The killing game had just started, after all.
Yeah.
What he said in his video message certainly didn't help either. He told himself to only share this information with people he could trust.
He didn't have any recollection of filming this message, right? That means he must have had trouble believing it as well.
Yeah, there's that too.
It was probably confusing to him too. That's why he didn't consult us. He didn't know if he could trust that video, or trust us, or even trust himself.
Man.
He must have been so lost. But with the time limit approaching, he decided to take a chance.
So I guess in the end, bit of an aside, there was that scene with... there was that scene with him where he did the... what was it? Painted the nails or something? Or did... what was it? Makeup or something? I guess that wasn't a hint for what his talent was, since it... since it turned out to be Survivor and not Ultimate Makeup Artist.
So he went to the library alone, without telling anyone.
And then he got killed by Kaede's trap.
The only people who knew about the hidden door at that time were Rantaro and I. I had Kaede with me, and I thought I could trust her, so I told her about the hidden room. That was the difference between me and Rantaro, I suppose. I had Kaede.
And Kaede's the one who killed him!
What a snake!
Hey, so what are you guys talking about? Is this something I forgot?
I don't know anything about what they're saying.
Is this something that transpired before we were born?
So what's your point? You know who Rantaro was and why he did what he did. But it's pointless now, isn't it?
No, it's not pointless. Now that we know this new information, if we look back at Rantaro's case, we can find a new truth that we missed at the time.
I'm trying to think back. Here's a question that might be worth asking. We know that the killing game is supposed to end. It's a specific rule. Can we see the rules? Yeah, hang on. I don't think I've looked at this once yet. They have all these nice graphics too. This one. The killing game and class trials will continue until only 2 surviving students remain. So here's a question. Who is the other student? And did that other student get a perk too?
A new truth?
I don't really get it, but we just need to look at Rantaro's case again, right?
Then let's do it.
Yes, let's do this together.
My vast magical powers, I'll turn Monokuma into an omnibus.
Do it, Himiko.
I don't really get that either, but I guess we're gonna republish Monokuma.
Do it, Tsumugi. Here we go.
Rantaro went to the library just before Monokuma's timeline expired.
Using the information provided by the survivor perk, he made his way to the hidden door.
To expose the identity of the mastermind. But before he could achieve that goal, he got hit in the head with a shot put ball and died.
Because of Kaede's fully automatic killing machine!
Eh? Fully automatic?
There was no culprit at the scene. The only one in the library at the time of the murder was Rantaro himself!
That's a fact, right?
The camera went off just before the incident. And only Rantaro was in the picture.
Okay, so that's where we're going to be focusing.
Rantaro went to the library just before Monokuma's time limit expired.
Using the information provided by the survivor perk, he made his way to the hidden door.
To expose the identity of the mastermind.
Maybe that one, I think.
That goal, he got hit in the head with a shot put ball and died.
Is fully automatic killing machine.
Fully automatic?
There was no culprit at the scene. The only one in the library at the time of the murder was Rantaro himself.
There we go. That's a good feeling. Getting the first thing right immediately. That feels good.
Rantaro was not the only one in the library at the time the murder occurred.
Because they were swapped, right? Because the monopad that was bloody ended up in the room, and the monopad that we found with Rantaro's corpse wasn't bloody, right? Is that it?
This survivor perk monopad is proof of that.
Why would that monopad be evidence?
The monopad was given exclusively to Rantaro as his survivor perk, correct? But when we searched Rantaro's body, he didn't have it on his person.
Oh, I just made that up. Sorry. I was assuming he had a monopad with him. Shows you how much I remember of the first trial. That could be an issue going forward, but okay, it was just missing. Okay, then that's even more obvious, and that's what the picture shows too, right? That's interesting. Was that ever commented on in the first trial? Because I know we saw this picture before. Interesting.
He only had his student handbook monopad.
Oh no, he did have a monopad. Okay, I am right.
Which means that someone took this monopad from Rantaro after the murder.
I am right.
That's very wrong.
Wow! That's what we've been saying!
What? Keep quiet, will you? I don't have time for your nonsense right now.
Really? I have no clue what anyone is talking about.
If we don't chime in soon, Pops is gonna push the detonator.
Then we better not let these fucking chumps run their mouths anymore.
A bloody monopad is disgusting! You should wash it right away!
That's not a real rebuttal!
Someone stole the survivor perk, Mono. Where's the proof?
No way there's a bloody thief!
But remember, Rantaro brought the survivor perk monopad to the library. If it's missing now, that must mean someone stole it.
He brought that monopad to the library?
I think there's maybe no way that's possible.
All he had on him was the student handbook monopad. He didn't bring the survivor perk with him.
You cannot assert it was stolen.
Yep, that's right!
He brought that monopad to the library?
I think there's maybe no way that's possible.
All he had on him was the student handbook monopad. He didn't bring the survivor perk with him.
I'll cut through your words. No, there is no doubt Rantaro brought the survivor perk monopad to the library. The picture taken just before he died clearly shows him holding it.
Do they look different from the
That
normal?
is student handbook monopad, bro. You fucking know.
Yeah, that was my question.
No, it was definitely the same monopad. You see the way the blood is dried here? The outline of his fingers matches how he was holding it in the picture.
Oh, you're right.
Shortly after this photo was taken, Rantaro was struck in the head by the shot-put ball. Do you think that's when this bloody outline on the monopad was formed?
I do. That's why the monopad Rantaro is holding in this picture. Has to be the same monopad we have now.
What?
Come on, no overreacting. It makes us look like we're not paying attention.
Scream all you want! Monosuke's the one that's gonna get blown up!
Oh,
Ah! Monokid!
they gonna go in order again?
I was so upset my cute cubs lost that my finger slipped. But those were some pretty fireworks. Even in death, my kid's a real cutie. I hear lions push their cubs into bottomless ravines to kill them.
They don't kill them.
So there was a thief, huh? I can't believe someone would do something so evil.
So who took the monopad? Do you know anything else?
It's the mastermind. Since we know where it ends up. Now that I don't have to constantly talk, I am doing a bit better. So that's good. Throat's not killing me as much. Oh, that was a mistake. I guess 2. Yes. Oh, shucks. You're getting weird on me. Okay, one more. Okay, very simple. Oh, there's more. goodness. This is a toughie. Oh, I messed that up. Whoopsie daisy. Okay.
It connects. The one who took that monopad is the mastermind. I'm sure of it.
The mastermind?
The Survivor Perk monopad was found in the library's hidden room. And only the mastermind would have been able to enter that room, correct?
Between the time Rantaro died and when we found him, they put that monopad in the hidden room?
Man. I almost feel like I should go back and look at that.
Nope, that's impossible!
Impossible? Why?
Huh? You don't know? Why, even my cute little cubs have already figured it out.
Huh? We have...
Yeah, so I'll let Monotaro explain.
Huh? I've already forgotten what we're even talking about.
Oh crap, he's gonna push it! It's gonna be Monokid all over again!
The mastermind is not in any of the photos taken in the library. Why is that?
Huh?
Oh, that's true. In order to get to the hidden room, you need to move the bookcase, right? But Shuichi and Kaede set up those hidden cameras, so... if the mastermind was using that door, they would have been caught on camera.
But none of the pictures showed anyone like that.
Then, that reasoning is wrong.
Amazing, Monodum! Well done!
Hold on. The hidden cameras in the library had interval timers. Perhaps the mastermind worked within that 30-second interval?
I see. So the mastermind hid in the hidden room, waited for the right timing, grabbed the monopad from the library, and then returned to the hidden room.
Hold on! There's a flaw in your logic.
What? What flaw?
Huh? Don't ask me! The Mono Cubs are gonna explain it!
What? Again?
Check your logic without explaining why! That's the Monokuma debate style! Take it from here, Mono Cubs! And you better use your brains or I'll kill ya!
It's a very effective debate tactic. Indeed. Okay, well, I think I know what we're doing
What
here.
are we arguing about again?
The hidden camera! Isn't it weird that the mastermind's not in any photos?
Unless they use the interval between shots.
The camera has a 30-second interval between shots. That's enough time to take the monopod from the body.
Then where was the mastermind hiding?
In the hidden room, of course!
If they were still inside the hidden room, how would they know what was happening in the library?
If you don't know when the camera went off, how would you know the interval timing?
Bravo, Monodum! Wonderful objection!
Now we've escaped certain death.
What are we arguing about again?
Okay, never mind. It's gonna be
The
this.
hidden camera!
Those... Unless the interval between shots.
Time to take the monopad from the body.
Then where was the mastermind hiding?
In the hidden room, of course!
If they were still inside the hidden room, how would they know what?
That's wrong! The mastermind saw what was happening in the library. They had surveillance cameras.
Surveillance cameras.
What? Where would something like that be?
You don't know? Even though they're monocubs just like you?
Monocups?
I mean these.
So cute and tiny!
Aren't they? They're your siblings, too!
That's a big reveal to drop so casually.
Yeah, no kidding.
These little guys are called nanokumas. Their job is to monitor the campus.
How do you know that?
Oh, Father told me. He said to make sure I told everyone. I had completely forgotten about it. Good thing I just remembered.
Dumbass! You remembered too late!
There are countless nanokumas buzzing all over the campus. All the footage they record is wirelessly transmitted through Mother Kuma, and then sent to Monokuma.
Yes, via Mother Kuma. That's an important point. If Mother Kuma receives the camera feeds, the mastermind could ask it anything. They would know about the situation in the library and the hidden room.
I see! Mother Kuma can tell them the interval timers for the cameras!
Then the mastermind was in the hidden room after they stole the monopad from Rentaro.
But why would they steal the monopad?
The mastermind was probably terrified by the idea of us picking up Rantaro's perk.
No, that's wrong! I wasn't necessarily afraid. The survivor perk was for Rantaro's eyes only. Sure, he could have shared the info with you,
Ah, so it's a rules thing.
but that's not the same as getting the info directly from the monopad. Cause then, you can't say it was a survivor perk for Rantaro's eyes only, right? So when he died, I took it back. That's all.
When you say I there,
I don't know about that.
How do you figure?
You look calm now, but at the time, you must have been pretty desperate. The monopad clearly stated that there was a mastermind in the academy. If we knew then that a mastermind was behind everything, we would have worked together. But you couldn't let that happen. You needed us to go after each other.
Either way, you admit the mastermind stole the monopad, right?
Well, yes, but only reluctantly.
Then the mastermind messed up. If they wanted to retrieve the monopad, they should have used Monokuma to do it.
Nope, that's impossible. The rules state I can't participate in a murder, which includes tampering with the crime scene.
If you're so strict about following the rules, does that mean that someone is watching?
let me see that actually. Interesting that. Could we have seen through that bluff? Remember he said, you guys have to kill someone by this point or a bunch of Monokumos will go and kill everyone. Is that not in conflict with this?
If that's the case,
Still, what a waste of a survivor perk! If only he lived a little longer, then this info would have made things interesting.
Ah, stop changing the subject!
But the point of this class trial is to discuss Rantaro's case, right? The mastermind stealing his survivor perk shouldn't affect it whatsoever. In the end, Kaede killed him. There's no shaking off that truth.
Yeah!
One truth prevails!
No, that's not the truth. I'm certain of that.
Always like when Shuichi busts out his protagonist stance.
It's a lie that you made up.
Me? Lie?
That's right. Kaede wasn't the one who killed Rantaro. The true culprit is...
Mastermind?
That's it! The mastermind controlling Monokuma. They're the one who killed Rantaro.
The mastermind is the culprit?
Jeez, and you call yourself the ultimate detective? Trying to overturn the results of the first-class trial. The Mono Cubs won't be silent about this!
What? Us again?
But we said we don't know.
Okay.
If Rantaro's... killer is the mastermind, that means Kaede was the mastermind!
Can you prove the mastermind is the culprit?
Yeah! Got any evidence?
You want evidence Kaede is the culprit? The shot put ball at the murder scene. She used the camera flash to lure Rantaro in, and then cracked his skull with a shot put ball.
Yep, Kaede set up the whole thing. Even the lethal shot put ball. Kaede had it all along.
Kaede's the mastermind after all!
Why so interested in dead people? You want to crack open a cold one?
So,
If Rantaro's killer is the mastermind, that means Kaede was the mastermind!
Can you prove the mastermind is the culprit?
Yeah, got any evidence?
You want evidence? The murder scene. She used the camera flash to lure Rantaro in, and then cracked his skull with a ball.
Yep, Kaede set up the whole thing. Even the lethal shot put ball. Kaede had it all along.
okay, this is going good so far.
The most important fact we discovered during the investigation is this.
Can we look at what was being said? Yeah, okay, hang on. What? Are we trying to think that maybe it's this twin sister thing?
The shot put ball that Rantaro was killed with was different than the one Kaede had.
Oh, okay. I see.
What'd you say? I have no idea what's going on.
Man, if it turns out that Kaede... I've been thinking, you know, this was like maybe a Mukuro Junko situation. But if it's going to be something that, like, Kaede was tricked or deceived herself... Oh, that's going to be rough.
A different shot put ball? What do you mean?
I found a shot put ball in the trash can in the hidden room. But it was not the murder weapon. That shot put ball didn't have any blood on it. Rather, there was a pink fiber stuck to that shot.
Pink fiber? So what?
Man, was there a moment I really do think I should look at the first trial again. Was there a moment when Shuichi and Kaede were in that classroom together? Like, was there a moment where she left and then came back at some point? Like, what if there was a weird switcheroo that happened?
Do you remember how Kaede was carrying the shot put ball?
But Kaede, in the trial, thought she was guilty. That's why she asked, or essentially asked, Shuichi to convict her. So, what was it? Part of the plan, so to speak, or was she deceived?
I see. She had it in her backpack.
It was wrapped in her spare vest. Her pink vest.
I see. The shot put ball you found in the hidden room had a pink fiber on it.
Yes, it's a fiber from her vest. That can only mean that the ball I found was the one that was in Kaede's backpack.
What'd you say? Really? I got no idea what you're talking about.
That shot put ball did not have blood on it, so it could not have been the murder weapon. In short, the shot that Kaede used didn't hit Rantaro.
That's pretty big.
Maybe they just washed off the blood.
If so, the fiber on the shot put ball would have been washed off as well. It's clear to me that the real murder weapon is different than the shot Kaede had. Yes, Kaede set up the bookcase and rolled the shot into the vent. But that shot didn't hit Rantaro. Her plan failed.
Failed? I don't even know what that means.
If you found that shot put ball in the hidden room, then that means...
Mastermind took it?
That's it! The Mastermind took it from the library. Only they could get in that room after all.
The Mastermind took it?
So they recovered the shot that missed Rantaro, and he was killed by a different one.
I do remember wondering, you know, how much did Kaede test that whole ramp system? You know, I feel like she kind of got lucky with that. Maybe that actually wasn't the case.
Rantaro was killed by the Mastermind, who made it look like Kaede was the culprit.
Wow.
That required a bit of trickery on the Mastermind's part. They prepared their own shot to kill Rantaro and switched it with Kaede's shot. They took Kaede's shot put ball and stowed it in the hidden room. To put it simply, Kaede didn't kill Rantaro. It was the Mastermind.
What?
Did you?
Everyone, calm down. Father is going to yell.
Ooh.
What? Monodum!
Whoops! I got too worked up and accidentally pressed the detonator!
The Mastermind killed Rantaro? But why?
I believe the reason had something to do with a time limit motive. Kaede was keeping us all together, and we refused to kill each other. To break up the stalemate, the Mastermind introduced that motive. However, this was a gamble. They didn't want to cause total chaos after all.
Because that would just end everything. They wanted an exciting killing game.
That motive put pressure on the Mastermind, as well as us.
Yes, Kaede had a plan to kill the Mastermind, but Rantaro was caught in the trap. However, her plan ultimately failed. The shot put ball that she rolled didn't hit Rantaro.
Because it missed, we would have been annihilated due to the time limit. But the Mastermind wanted to avoid that situation, so they took action.
Thanks to the Nanokumas, the Mastermind would have known Kaede's intended murder weapon. So when her plan failed, they would already have another shot-put ball prepared.
Then, the Mastermind manipulated the scene to make it look like Kaede succeeded. All they had to do was hide Kaede's shot in the hidden room that only they could enter.
So, Kaede was executed on false charges?
Yes. Yes, she was. She didn't actually kill anyone.
Man. See, I was thinking, because, I hadn't put it all together as Shuichi has, with this whole shot put and the Mastermind being the one to do this. But I was thinking, that a lot of this killing game was being modeled on previous killing games, or specifically DR1. I think I'll say that. So I was thinking that Kaede would have been involved if we're dealing with a, Mukuro Junko situation. But maybe not. And if that's the case, that stings. Yeah, that would, because I was gearing myself up to not actually... I was gearing myself in the event that it was somehow Kaede either was the culprit, or was the Mastermind, or an accomplice to the Mastermind. I was gearing myself up to think this character who, I did like and enjoy. I was getting ready to not like her as much as I previously did, but if this is the case,
But she was executed nonetheless, because the Mastermind framed her for Rantaro's murder. And Monokuma played along. He let us believe the Mastermind's lie. We were all fooled, including Kaede. We thought she was the culprit until the very end. And you want to tell us this game is fair? That there are rules? That's all bullshit! This game makes no sense at all.
If Monokuma twisted the truth for this case, then he could have twisted it for the other cases as well, making this killing game unfair.
Then, it's not even a killing game anymore. It's just killing.
I won't forgive them. I'll never forgive them for breaking the rules and killing Kaede. So cruel. I'll never forgive them. And I will avenge Kaede. I swear on her kindness and her love and her grave that I will avenge her.
Yeah! How dare the Mastermind create the detonator that blew up the adorable Monodum?
You're the one that blew him up. Don't pass the buck.
Anyway, we know the Mastermind is also Rantaro's killer. Let's figure out who that is.
That is, if Monokuma still wants to continue this class trial.
Of course we're gonna keep going. Like I said, this killing game will never end.
No, Monokuma. I will end this. I will reveal the identity of the Mastermind and end the killing game.
May I interject? You keep accusing this so-called Mastermind, but... Are you sure there's even a Mastermind at all?
Back to this question.
Are you sure you bastards aren't imagining it? If the Mastermind is real, show him to us.
You guys are the ones hiding them.
It's possible the Mastermind is still in this academy. The survivor perk said so.
If they were involved in Rantaro's murder, there's no doubt.
Does it have to be one of the 16? Or is there a hidden person? That's the question now, I guess. If we're... Because, if there's actually 17, then... But if it has to... Like, if he sits there and tells me, oh, you have to pick one of the people, if you have to pick Shuichi, Kibo, Himiko, Maki, Tsumugi, then I think we're stuck, because I don't know.
Then they must have snuck in during the Gopher Project, and stayed hidden in the account.
You just odd. What was that all about?
I just realized something.
Say it, or I'll cast my all the guys you date will be single fathers curse.
Wow. That's incredibly powerful.
It's Kaede's younger twin sister.
Okay, there we go.
Younger twin sister?
It was on this Gopher Project participant list. She has a twin sister.
Interesting to me that I feel like this is something that they would kind of dance around a bit, and then, something we would have to deduce and say in one of the mini games. But no, just Tsumugi's coming out and saying it.
It seems sort of weird to me. Junko and Oshima had a twin too, right?
Are you saying those same circumstances apply here as well?
This killing game was influenced a lot by the past one, right? So maybe the mastermind's real identity was too.
But see, the thing is that going to be one of those things where it feels so obvious that that's the intent? It's meant to trick us?
Maybe. I guess that's a possibility.
Either way, there's no doubt that the mastermind is hiding somewhere in this school.
How unfortunate that you couldn't find them during your final investigation. You're not allowed to leave while the trial's in session, so you can't search for them now.
You can't leave during a trial unless you've got to pee.
Oh, I gotta pee. We're not falling for that one.
Okay.
Can you guys figure out the identity of the mastermind?
Besides the 16 of us at this school, there was a 17th person too. That 17th person is the mastermind.
It could be Kaede's younger twin sister. Just like the previous killing game, the mastermind might have a twin for this game too.
If it really is the same as the previous killing game, then Kaede would still be alive. And she could potentially be the mastermind.
Who cares? You're still no closer to the answer.
No leaving while the trial's in session!
Can you guys figure out the identity of the mastermind?
I'm gonna guess this.
Besides the 16 of us at this school, there was a 17th person too. That 17th person is the mastermind.
I'm gonna try this on a few of them.
Oh no! Identity.
That 17th person is the mastermind.
Oh, I just realized this is a lie possibility.
It could be Kaede's younger twin sister. Just like the previous, the mastermind might have a twin for this game too.
If it really is the same as the previous killing, then Kaede would still be alive. And she could potentially be the mastermind.
Who cares? You're
No leaving while the trial's in session!
We don't have many options, huh?
Can you guys figure out the identity of the mastermind?
Besides the 16 of us at this school, there was the 17th person is the mastermind.
That's wrong!
Okay, there was a lie there, but... At least I think there was, but I'm not sure what it would...
No,
I didn't even
the
check.
mastermind can't be a 17th person. That contradicts what Mother Kuma said.
What did she say? I don't remember.
It implies that the mastermind wasn't in the hidden room the whole time. They must have been coming and going between the room and the academy, right?
Yeah.
Would someone who has to stay completely hidden really risk that?
Right. If they were trying to hide, they would have just stayed put.
I see. That's some impressive logic.
Don't agree with him!
And during the investigation, I found a classroom that makes flashback lights.
A classroom that makes flashback lights?
I'll explain the details later. But there was something interesting. When the door is opened, the classroom reverts to its original state. Clearly, the room is hiding something.
Isn't it obvious? The mastermind didn't want anyone to see them making flashback lights.
But why create such a classroom at all? If the mastermind were a 17th person, they could have their own completely separate room to make flashback lights.
That is a good question. Like, why wasn't it in the hidden room?
Indeed, that would be much safer.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Knowing this, we can make a few assumptions about the mastermind's identity. However, the implications aren't good.
It better not be one of us in here.
What an ominous way to say it. But there's nothing to worry about. We got this far because we're friends. We're in this together no matter what. There's nothing to fear.
Yeah, she's right.
Uh-oh. A participant, right?
That's it! The mastermind is most likely one of the participants of this killing game.
One of the participants?
One of the 16 people who were forced to play this game. One of us.
What did you say?
The classroom that makes flashback lights and the hidden room being visited often. It all suggests that the mastermind is someone we'd see every day at the academy.
Someone we'd see every day. Like one of the 16 students?
That's crazy! There's no way one of us is the mastermind! Because we're all friends! We swore to fight together!
Then it just means that all your friendship talk was a lie, right?
Shut up! That's not possible!
You're upset and irrational. At times like this, a voice of reason is necessary. Absolutely necessary!
Got it! We're up!
Alright! We're gonna put on a reasonable yet outstanding show and earn our right to live!
Our right to live? Is someone about to die? Is that what's going on?
Whatever! I don't believe you! There's no way the mastermind's here!
Wait. Even if it's one of the 16 students, it doesn't mean it's one of us, does it?
Huh? What do you mean?
It's possible that the mastermind merely faked their death and has been alive this whole time. Now that we know Monokuma will break rules as he sees fit, that possibility should be...
What's that supposed to mean? Hurry up and answer! If you don't hurry up, I'm gonna blow up the rest of the Monocubs!
Ah! Hurry up and answer!
Okay. Oh my. I'm thinking this one or this one.
That's it!
Yeah.
We need to go over everyone's alibi for Rantaro's murder again.
Our alibis? From way back then?
Didn't we discuss that during the first trial? What good would it do to discuss it again?
Now that we know Rantaro was killed by the mastermind, it might lead somewhere. We might find a hole in someone's alibi that we didn't see at the time.
So we just have to give our alibis again.
Fine. Then let's do it. So we can be sure that the mastermind's not one of us.
I wonder where this discussion will lead. Will it lead to a mastermind in this very room? Or not? Either way, we're gonna make sure this trial stays exciting!
Okay.
I was in the game room in the basement. With Kaito and Gonta and Maki. Also, Tenko and Angie were there too.
Even if I was in the same basement, it's impossible for me to have killed Rantaro.
Hey! I didn't kill Rantaro either!
I was in my room by myself. And so were Ryoma and Kokichi, too. I know that is a poor alibi, but I did not kill Rantaro.
I was in the dining hall. Kyo, Miu, and Kirumi were with me. Though I did leave briefly to use the bathroom.
Uh-oh.
I couldn't have killed Rantaro.
And Shuichi was with Kaede, so he couldn't have killed Rantaro either.
I see one.
I was in the game room in the basement. With Kaito and
What are
Gota
the
and
lies?
Mom. Also, Tenko and Angie were there too.
I have some health to spare,
Even if
so...
I was in the same basement, it's impossible for me to have killed Rantaro.
Hey! I didn't kill Rantaro either!
I was in my room by myself. And so were Ryoma and Kokichi, too.
Man, I don't know what it would
that is
be.
a poor alibi, but I did not kill Rantaro.
Kyo, Miu, were with me. Though I did leave briefly to use the bathroom. I couldn't have killed...
No! Oh, I hit it.
That's wrong!
But it can't be Tsumugi because we know about the cosplay-itis, whatever it is.
Wait a minute, Tsumugi.
Huh?
You said you went to the bathroom. The girls' bathroom near the dining hall, right?
Uh-oh.
What did you say? That bathroom?
Huh? What? What about it?
Shuichi, didn't you investigate the girls' bathroom? Did you find anything?
The utility closet in that bathroom has a hidden passageway. One that's connected to the hidden room in the back of the library.
Whoopsie daisy.
Which means it's possible to get into the hidden room from that bathroom.
What?
Around the time Rantaro was killed, Tsumugi went to that exact bathroom. I'm positive that when Rantaro was killed, the culprit was in the hidden room. It's too convenient to be coincidence.
Hold on. This is all so sudden, I don't think I understand.
But maybe they got there from the hidden door in the library instead.
They can't because the card and the dust and all that.
No, I don't think so. Remember that I had placed dust in the card reader in the library. I was trying to determine if the hidden door was opened with a card reader. But the dust didn't fall. That means nobody used that card reader.
So, to enter the hidden room, they would need to use a different route, the girls' bathroom.
Yes, I believe that's the case. The culprit entered the hidden room from the girls' bathroom on the first floor, and with the help of Mother Kuma, watched the situation in the library unfold. As soon as they saw the Kaede's plan fail, they waited for the camera interval and leaped out of the hidden room, shot put ball in hand. The hidden door could open from the inside, so there was no need to use the card reader. In any case, the culprit attacked Rantaro with a shot put ball, picked up the shot that Kaede had used, and returned to the hidden room.
And they also took the survivor perk monopad that Rantaro had, right?
Yes, then they left the monopad and the shot in the hidden room, headed into the passageway, and returned to the girls' bathroom.
Are you saying the one who did it was Tsumugi?
No, it has to be some kind of mistake. Up till now, everything pointed to the mastermind not being one of us.
Is Tsumugi even capable of doing all this? He's just a cosplayer, you know.
Yeah, all this would be impossible for just some cosplayer.
But you said that you went to that bathroom during Rantaro's murder. How can you possibly refute that fact?
Refute? It's all just a coincidence. Oh, Kibo and Ryoma didn't have alibis. What if they went to the girls' bathroom?
Did you see one of them in the girls' bathroom?
What?
If one of them had gone into that bathroom, you would have seen each other, right? But you never mentioned that.
That's...
Tsumugi, what's the meaning of this?
Can this really be true?
Tsumugi, Is this true?
No, it's not! I really only went to use the bathroom. I didn't know about the hidden passage.
Look lively, Mono Cubs! You're up! Move your asses!
That's very wrong.
Mother's never yelled at me like that before.
If we don't do well here, we're all gonna get blown up together.
I still want to live longer. I want to see the next chapter. So please, let us win.
What?
Please, please let us win! We don't want to die!
We're like snowflakes. We're one of a kind.
I don't know what Four Eyes is talking about. Bad guys never wear glasses.
Anyway, just cut it out! We don't want to die!
Monokuma and the Mastermind are the bad guys here. You don't want to die? Do you know how many of my friends were sacrificed?
Please, help us!
Is Four Eyes over there really the mastermind? We don't know anything.
I don't wanna.
Even if she is the culprit,
Hey, let's just stop this!
there's no evidence that she's the mastermind.
Please, help us!
Is Four Eyes over there really the mastermind? We don't know anything.
I don't wanna explode!
Even if she is the culprit,
Hey, let's just stop this!
there's no evidence that she's the mastermind.
Oop. No.
Damn it!
Please, help us!
Is Four Eyes over there really the mastermind? We don't know anything.
I don't wanna
Even if she is the culprit,
Hey, let's just stop this!
there's no
Maybe this
evidence
one?
that she's the mastermind.
Nope.
Damn it!
Help us!
Is Four Eyes over there really the mastermind? We don't know anything.
I don't wanna explode!
Even if she is the culprit,
Hey, let's just stop this!
there's no evidence that she's the mastermind.
And I guess it has to be the voice thing.
Oh no!
Help us!
Is Four Eyes over there really the mastermind?
We don't know anything! I don't want...
Wait,
Hey, let's just stop this!
there's no evidence that she's the mastermind.
Okay,
I'll
not sure about
cut
this
through
one.
your words. Before being destroyed, Mother Kuma told us something. That individual is, of course, the Mastermind.
When the mastermind commands Mother Kuma to give birth, it makes a spare.
We all tried it out.
But Kiba wasn't there, was he?
Right, because I was fighting the Exosols.
Did you hear that? Kiba didn't try giving Mother Kuma a command. So the real mastermind is...
Tsumugi was the only one who didn't say give birth.
Oh, I didn't keep track of that.
Huh?
In the moment.
Everyone else said give birth.
I guess right now I'm skeptical because we still haven't even reached halfway. And then yes, the joke of, haha, someone was cosplaying as Junko, but you shouldn't be allowed to do, or Tsumugi shouldn't be able to do that. But, huh.
Tsumugi specifically used a different phrase. You didn't say give birth. You said make. You knew how to get Mother Kuma to create a spare, didn't you? That's why you specifically said make. If you had said give birth, Mother Kuma would have made a spare. Am I right, Tsumugi?
Hey, come on. What's wrong? Don't be like that, Shuichi. Do you really think I'm the mastermind? There's just no way. Hey, everyone, say something. I'm not the mastermind. That's crazy, right?
Then refute it. We're waiting.
Huh?
I don't want to believe it either. That one of our friends, the survivors, could do this. That's why I'm begging, Tsumugi. I'm begging you to refute me. I might be wrong. I was wrong before. About Kaede. That's why I need everyone's help. I don't care if my detective work is wrong. I want to hear your argument. Reaching the truth together is what cooperation means to me.
Tsumugi, please.
Tsumugi, please!
What's the matter? You can't argue back after hearing that.
Whoa, hold on. I don't know what's going on right now, but just hold on a sec.
Oh, Monosuke's infamous impatience rears its ugly head.
And what an ugly head it is!
I don't think friends should blame each other like this, you know? Come on, smile, everyone. I know, we could watch a comedy special so we could all smile.
Oh.
Jeez, you're noisy.
Ah, Monosuke! Father, why? You loved Monosuke so much.
Oh yeah, you're right. But we're at the good part now. So be quiet and watch like good little cubs.
Father?
Considering Monokuma's not upset or panicking, I feel worried.
See? It's getting exciting. Shuichi is trying to reveal the mastermind, trying to overcome despair. It's so heart-pounding!
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Oh my goodness, we just have to do this? I mean, now I feel like we're falling into a trap. But I guess we have to. Okay. Tsumugi, I don't want to believe it. I want to believe in your cosplay-itis. Even though that's not, you know, no one else saw that. Only we saw that someone was cosplaying Junko. I know it can't be you. I know you're innocent, but I think I have to, so I'm sorry.
It has to be you! The mastermind of this killing game, and the culprit who killed Rantaro, is you, Tsumugi. There are no other possibilities. You don't have anything to say?
Anything to say? Even if you keep saying all that stuff, I still don't get it. Hey, let's stop this already. You're mistaken. Because we're all friends, right? Weren't we going to work together to end this killing game?
This is a class trial. Although we were forced into these class trials by the mastermind, that's how we survived. It was the only way. It was the only way we could survive. So please, Tsumugi, refute the evidence. Say something. Your life depends on it. Please.
Tsumugi, I don't want to suspect you. I want to believe in you. I want the mastermind to be somewhere else, like in the previous killing games. So, if you're really not the mastermind, then don't give up. I'll cheer you on.
Even if you say that.
Tsumugi is taking her sweet time, but waiting around is so boring. Hey, Shuichi, why don't we look over the case again?
What?
Come on, that's like your thing. Present the truth and end this. Because there are people who don't know what the heck is going on until we get to this part. Now,
Hey, we're missing... There's a ton of minigames we haven't done yet. Oh my goodness. This is all out of order. Can you recycle a shot put ball?
This is the truth of the case! With this new evidence, let's look back at Rantaro's murder. The night of the incident, Kaede and I were in the first floor classroom. We were waiting for the mastermind to trigger the trap we set in the library. Around that time, there were 4 people in the dining hall, including the mastermind. The mastermind was probably irritated that no murders had yet occurred. After the motive was given, they knew that Kaede was planning something. But the mastermind wanted some insurance. They would take action if necessary. The mastermind excused themselves from the dining hall and went to the bathroom. And from there, to the hidden room in the library that only the mastermind could enter. And there they waited. With less than an hour before the time limit expired, Rantaro moved the library's bookcase, which set off the receiver I was holding. It all happened the way we determined in the first trial, except at the end. I ran out of the room, and Kaede rolled the shot put ball into the air vent. At the same time, Rantaro was lured by the flash of the hidden camera Kaede set. He unwittingly stepped right into the path of the shot. The shot rolled down the path Kaede made. Fell right onto Rantaro's head, killing him instantly. Or so we thought. It turns out, that was just what the mastermind wanted us to believe. In reality, Kaede's murder plan happened quite differently. The shot put ball that Kaede rolled didn't actually hit Rantaro. He must have been surprised seeing the shot put ball drop out of nowhere like that, but his fate was sealed. The mastermind saw that Kaede's plan failed and stepped in to finish the job. The mastermind jumped out of the hidden room and attacked Rantaro from behind. And in their hand, the real murder weapon, their own shot-put ball. Rantaro wasn't killed by Kaede's shot, but by the masterminds. The mastermind picked up Kaede's shot and left their shot-put ball at the scene. They also looted the survivor perk monopad from Rantaro's body. Those things in hand, they retreated back into the hidden room. I remember seeing the bookcase closing just as Kaede and I got there. The mastermind had probably just finished their crime. And so, the real truth was perfectly hidden from us. We went to the class trial and reached the truth that Kaede was the culprit. But that truth had been twisted by the mastermind. After the murder, the mastermind left the stolen monopad on the table in the hidden room. And threw Kaede's shot-put ball into the trash can. A little careless of them to not get rid of all the evidence. They probably believed no one would ever get into that room, but we did. Their crime complete, the mastermind went back through the hidden passageway. The passageway led from the hidden room all the way to the girls' bathroom on the first floor. While the mastermind was pretending to use the girls' bathroom, they were actually using the hidden passageway.
I guess this is it is a clue that the mastermind is probably a girl. Because if a guy were to ever a guy would ever be seen going into the girls' bathroom, it would be somewhat suspicious. Unless it was for, you know, a very specific reason and other people knew about that. But otherwise, you know, I feel like the mastermind wouldn't chance it like that. So I'm sure we could assume that's true.
That's how they moved around without being noticed. Anyone could have used the hidden passageway. Not just the people in the dining hall, but looking at the survivors. Only you could possibly be the mastermind. If I'm wrong, please, refute me. Please tell us you aren't the mastermind. Tsumugi Shirogane, the ultimate cosplayer. That's the truth of this case, of the killing game itself. Well, Tsumugi?
Well, what?
Yes! What a scorching hot twist! My hand holding the detonator is tensing up!
Don't get tense! Calm down!
Daddy! Please stop this! Go back to how you used to be! When you loved us so much!
How I used to be was more suited to a different story than this one.
Wow. What an interesting statement for Monokuma to be making.
Basically, your story doesn't matter. I gotta watch this exciting development!
Well, Tsumugi, are there any flaws in Shuichi's logic? If so, then please tell us.
Flaws? There's a bunch of flaws all over it.
Then explain.
You can do it! You can do it, Tsumugi!
Even if you cheer me on. It's not like that. I didn't do it. It's plain to see.
Fight back, Tsumugi! Come on! You can do it! You can do it!
Daddy, you're tensing up again!
I still want to live, so please don't push the button!
Tsumugi, please just say something. If you don't defend yourself...
It's Junko Enoshima!
What?
been her. In the Hope's Peak killing game and in the Jabberwock Island killing game. Junko Enoshima didn't participate. She controlled the game from outside. Even if it's boring or repetitive, she's always the mastermind, isn't she?
Okay, they're saying it, not me. Even if it's boring or repetitive. Yeah.
Then it's like that this time, too. It's gotta be Junko again.
Junko Enoshima is dead. She's not part of this killing game.
You're wrong. She hasn't been eliminated. It's all Junko's doing. This killing game is her doing, too. Yeah, that's gotta be it. 'Cause Junko Enoshima is...
Junko Enoshima is...
'Cause Junko Enoshima is...
Junko Enoshima is...
Daddy, please don't get so excited! You pressed the button by accident!
Look at our cute faces! Can you really bear to be without us?
Junko Enoshima is...
Junko Enoshima is what? Okay, time for a commercial break.
No, it isn't!
See? We're a good comedy group too! So please don't...
'Cause Junko Enoshima is... Junko Enoshima is...
Right the fuck here!
Get out of here.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Was it a lie? Was the cosplay-itis a lie?
Even if nobody was waiting. Even if it makes you go, what? Again?
Guilty.
The Diva of Despair takes the stage once more. Junko Enoshima, the 53rd.
There you have it! Once again, the mastermind is Junko Enoshima!
Junko Enoshima, the 53rd?
Tsumugi, what's the matter? Aren't you Tsumugi Shirogane? Our friend who survived with us?
Sorry about that. You can go ahead and forget about Tsumugi Shirogane.
'Cause I'm just a character. You know, a lie.
Sorry to all her fans out there. If any of you even exist, that is.
A lie?
Tsumugi Shirogane was nothing more than a cover for me, the mastermind. Ooh, calling her your friend? Ugh, it's laughable, really. Really, I'm gonna laugh.
Are you serious? You're the mastermind behind this?
But why? That face and that voice. It's just like...
Junko Enoshima.
I know, right? Oh, does it make you fall into despair? Well, does it?
No, that's not possible. Junko Enoshima is dead.
But why did you call yourself the 53rd?
As history repeats itself, so does Junko Enoshima.
Yeah?
As you can see, I am a perfect reproduction of Junko Enoshima.
So, you're just a freak pretending to be Junko Enoshima, huh?
No, a perfect reproduction.
Perfect reproductions are exactly the same as the original.
Her logic is impossible to follow, much like the real Junko Enoshima's.
Whatever it is. You're the actual mastermind of this killing game, right? So if we kill you, then that'll be the end, correct?
Say mean things like that. Besides, killing me never ends the game.
It never ends the game? What do you mean?
She's bluffing. Let's just kill her and get it over with.
Wait, if force is necessary, it should wait until after we see what she... No need, Kibo, because this class trial is over.
What? It's already over? Oh, but I just showed up.
You killed Kaede, and Monokuma covered it up with a false narrative. The class trials are rigged, and this whole game is illegitimate.
Oh, that. Right. Yeah, I definitely messed that up. Sorry about that. So?
So? Is that all you have to say?
The viewers won't accept that kind of apology. You gotta stop the killing game!
Huh? The viewers?
It seems like you're on the wrong track, so let me explain.
Okay, so first, I'll start with the event that inspired me to plan this killing game. That was about the time the meteorite impact started intensifying.
Did she just start some big story on her own?
I knew of Hope's Peak Academy's Gopher Project, and my inner Junko told me.
Crushing the Gopher Project, humanity's last hope, would be the perfect despair.
That's when I took over the killing game I devised. I forced those selected as humanity's last hope to play my killing game.
There's something... Again, this is meta reasoning here, but we're not halfway through yet. There's... Now that she's talking about this... Like, this has to come up at some point. Plus, you know, again, Monokuma's not...
And then I took the name Tsumugi Shirogane and sneaked in among them.
Did Kokichi know about this? Wasn't he a remnant of despair? He was your comrade, right?
Huh? Comrade? Junko Enoshima doesn't have comrades.
It's like, you don't need a remote after you've thrown out the TV, right?
The remnants of despair are just a bunch of despair fanboys and fangirls. But I am despair itself. I am a god of despair. Kokichi was just one of my believers.
That's not true.
A god wouldn't be comrades with one of their believers, right?
Then Kokichi didn't know your true identity either.
What a hopeless existence he led. To the end, he had no idea the object of his worship was right under his nose.
I don't care about your story. Tell us about the people watching.
I don't believe Kokichi was a remnant of despair. I don't think that's
Who's
true.
this killing game being shown to? Where are the survivors of humanity?
There's nobody watching.
Huh?
That's a lie too. Makoto's watching.
We were the last 16 people alive, you know. Who could be watching? Humanity is gone.
No, you're lying. If this isn't being shown to anyone, why care so much about rules? You're the one who keeps talking about making the game interesting. For whom?
That was just a part of my perfect reproduction.
Your what?
I just perfectly reproduced my own killing game is all. Just like the old Junko. The original was meant to be shown, so that's how I made mine.
You just wanted to recreate the past killing game. And that's it?
Yep, that's it.
There are no survivors of humanity. Things are just as you recall.
That is the truth of the Ultimate Academy killing game!
No, that's wrong!
Oh dear! I am so surprised!
Maybe we all remember that there's no one left out there. But how do we know our memories are real?
Here we go, here we go.
What do you mean by that? You think your memories are wrong?
There's something that's been bothering me about our memories. Here, look at this book.
The complete history of Hope's Peak Academy?
This book contains years of research about Hope's Peak Academy. Nothing would indicate this book is a prop. I believe the information here is accurate. But there's a lot written in here that differs from our memories.
What is different?
To know that for certain, I'll need everyone's help. I want you all to tell me everything that you remember about Hope's Peak Academy.
We just need to talk about what we remember from Hope's Peak? Okay.
So it started with the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. That event originated at Hope's Peak Academy, inspiring wars and terrorism around the world. It would not be hyperbole to say that event brought despair to all mankind.
And it was all caused by a single high school girl.
Yeah, it was me! Junko Enoshima enrolled in Hope's Peak Academy as the ultimate fashionista. But my real identity was the ultimate despair. In order to cover the world in despair, I put my plans...
Wait a minute. Something doesn't add up here.
Huh? I detect no discrepancy in my memory banks.
Yes. Everything we just said is just like we remember it. But it doesn't match what's written in the history of Hope's Peak Academy.
So you gotta play Spot the Difference! Point out what everyone is mistaken about in their memories of Hope's Peak Academy. Alright! Time to play some
Oh, no.
Danganronpa trivia!
Oh, okay.
The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history.
That event originated at Hope's Peak Academy, inspiring war and terrorism around the world.
The cause of all that despair was just a single high school girl.
No, I think that's
a
wrong.
student of Hope's Peak Academy.
The ultimate despair! Junko Enoshima!
I did everything in my power
To spread despair over the entire world!
Well, I mean, this
The
seems
biggest,
straightforward.
most awful event in human history.
That event originated at Hope's Peak Academy, inspiring war and terrorism around the world.
The cause of all that despair was just a single
High school girl.
No,
A student of Hope's
I missed.
inspiring war and terrorism around the world. Was just a single high school girl.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it at the time. Or I certainly said it in the past, I think.
One high school girl started the tragedy, the ultimate despair. Junko Enoshima.
Well, I don't know if he's going to talk about it. There's the guy who was the animator. There's also Mukuro. You know, there are people that got involved. It wasn't just her. And then, of course, the remnants. DR2. That whole class.
At least that's what I remember. But that's not what this book says. Ultimate despair doesn't just refer to Junko Enoshima. It refers to a group and the movement that came after.
Yeah.
To put it simply, there's more to ultimate despair than Junko Enoshima.
This is the first time I've heard about this. Wasn't Junko the ultimate despair?
She was, but there were others.
That's what I recall as well. That label should only apply to her.
Nope.
Coincidences sure are scary. Everyone misremembered the same thing.
Coincidence? Misremembered?
And that's not all. There are other discrepancies I'd like to point out.
Ugh, does it even matter? I'm bored already.
Just shut up.
So, let's continue where we left off. Junko resorted to different tactics to cover the world with despair. The killing game between the 78th class of Hope's Peak Academy, for example.
They were locked up and forced into the killing game by the ultimate despair.
But boo-hoo! When I, the one who started it all, died, events were set in motion.
and the world began to move towards restoration.
Then the fight between the Future Foundation and the remnants of despair raged on! The worst-case scenario was avoided! Yay! A happy ending.
Okay.
The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history happened because Junko had prepared countless ways of spreading despair.
Like the killing game of the 78th class of Hope's Peak Academy.
They were held prisoner by the ultimate despair and forced into the killing game.
Oh, I have some bad news about that. The events that my death set in motion are only now reaching their climax.
So the remnants of despair and the Future Foundation are still fighting. But for now, we've avoided the worst of it.
The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history of spreading despair.
Of the 78th class of Hope.
I'll try the last one first.
So the remnants of despair and the Future Foundation.
Unless I just
But
miss.
for
The 78th class.
It might be that one.
So the remnants of despair and the Future Foundation are still
Nope. Okay, so it's the first one.
Hope's Peak Academy.
No.
Oh no!
Hang on.
Game of the 78th class of Hope's Peak Academy.
They were held prisoner by
That's wrong!
Not sure about this one.
It wasn't the ultimate despair that trapped the 78th class in Hope's Peak Academy. It was the class themselves. They shut themselves in.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Because it was part of the... Yeah. I understand. I was a bit confused, because I was thinking more... Like, Junko was in charge, of course. Of course, it was her killing game. But yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Shut themselves in?
Why would they shut themselves in?
It has to do with the Hope's Peak Academy shelter project. During the tragedy, the 78th class trapped themselves inside Hope's Peak Academy for protection.
So our memory of the 78th class being trapped by the ultimate despair?
Are you saying our memories are wrong?
It just means those documents were written all half-assed. There's no need to worry about it. Your memories are all correct.
What you've been saying isn't consistent. First you said it was just coincidence.
Oh, is that so?
Let's just move on. I want to talk about one more thing from our memories. It's about the rebuilt Hope's Peak Academy that we were attending.
What about Hope's Peak Academy?
There's no doubt that the
sorry.
16 of us were students at Hope's Peak Academy. We heard it had been rebuilt and was accepting applications for talented students again. And so, we gathered at the brand new Hope's Peak Academy.
Since Hope's Peak Academy was large, we were all in separate classes. But there's no doubt we were students of the new school.
I think I might know, actually. I think I might know this one. Let's see.
Hope's Peak Academy was rebuilt. And with that, recruitment of talented students was...
I think it's this one, but
When we
we'll wait.
found out, we came to the new Hope's Peak Academy.
The new Hope's Peak Academy was a huge school. That's why we were all in different classes.
But all the same!
That's right. We were all students of Hope's Peak Academy.
Hope's Peak Academy was rebuilt. And with that, recruitment of talented
Yeah, they scout. They don't get applications.
We remember Hope's Peak Academy taking applications from talented students. But that's not what's written here. The Academy did not take applications. All of their students were scouted.
Scouted? I've never heard that.
I wasn't scouted. I applied to Hope's Peak Academy on my own.
Me too. I chose to come to Hope's Peak. At least, that's what I remember.
Are you saying we're remembering it wrong?
But what if this book's just wrong? Researchers make mistakes too.
Maybe so, but I'm not getting all this from just the book. There is other evidence as well.
Other what?
The killing game we're in now is one that began with Hope's Peak Academy. So this is the third game after Hope's Peak and Jabberwock Island. But remember what Rantaro said? but Rantaro's name wasn't listed among the past participants of the game.
Yeah.
He was not present at the 2 killing games that Junko orchestrated.
Then, which killing game did Rantaro participate in?
I'm not entirely sure, but it's clearly inconsistent, isn't it? And the inconsistencies don't stop there. Kokichi's account is also suspect.
Kokichi's account is inconsistent too?
Oh, an inconsistency? Do tell.
We remember Kokichi as a remnant of despair, but I don't think that's true. He wasn't a remnant of despair.
Oh, was it the case that did the flashback light? It specifically made them remember he was. Why didn't I get that impression at the time? Or maybe I did and I don't remember? Is my memory that bad? I feel like I don't remember getting the impression that. I thought it was more like an assumption. I might have just misinterpreted the scene, if that's the case. Okay, so it wasn't. They were just assuming Kokichi was a remnant of despair. It was a memory. It specifically looks like a false memory in this case. Okay, that makes more sense why they were all harping on it so much. I see. I think I've just been confused on this for a while. All right.
He wasn't a remnant of despair?
That's impossible! He was definitely a remnant of despair. The remnants of despair were the ones who tried to stop the Gopher Project, and Kokichi was their leader. If he was the one leading the remnants of despair, then he must have been second only to the ultimate despair herself.
Yes, he loved me more than anyone. Like an obsessed fan hiding in the bushes.
I think it said he was a leader of an organization opposed to the Gopher Project. I'm not sure it's... I should be quiet. I'm not sure I'm remembering this correctly.
So where's your proof he wasn't a remnant of despair?
This one?
This is it! The motive video we found in Kokichi's dorm room. An organization centered around petty crimes, one that forbids murder. And in addition to that, the group was only 10 people. That's far too few to be the same group that tried to sabotage the Gopher Project. Meaning that whatever group Kokichi was a part of is not the remnants of despair. His motive video clearly contradicts our memories. The memory we have of Kokichi being a remnant has to be false.
You mean he wasn't a remnant of despair? That's not possible.
Come to think of it, we never actually heard it directly from him.
But it's still not possible.
Kokichi didn't tell us because he wasn't exposed to that flashback light. And neither was Kaito. Kaito didn't appear to know anything about the remnants of despair, or Junko Enoshima.
If they'd been exposed to it, maybe we'd know the truth.
Maybe it's better that they weren't. I think the people who were affected by that flashback light were wrong.
What do you mean?
All of these weird inconsistencies are from memories we got from the flashback lights.
So the flashback lights are the cause?
You found the classroom that makes all the flashback lights, right, Shuichi?
Yes, and I noticed something strange about it. I actually did a little experimenting with a device hidden in the room. It allowed you to select the memory that a flashback light would recover. However, some of the memories were inconsistent with each other. One might say there are survivors, but another would say there are no survivors. Bizarre, right? The flashback lights allegedly help us recover our memories. We're supposed to remember the truth that we forgot, and there should only be one truth. But then, having the option to recover contradictory memories doesn't make sense.
Then what are you saying?
Huh?
The flashback light isn't for recovering lost memories? Is that what you're saying?
Then what was it for?
What was it for, huh? Huh?
Go on, tell them. What are the flashback lights for?
Okay. Let's start. Still don't know what it is, actually. Implant. Now I see.
Yes, that's it. The flashback light isn't supposed to help us remember anything. It's a tool for implanting false memories.
Implanting memories?
Yes, the memories you could select for the flashback lights weren't our real memories. They were memories to be implanted inside us. That's why the contents of those memories contradict each other. Once we're exposed to a flashback light, those memories become the truth to us.
So the memories we recovered with the flashback lights were...
not real. They were all false memories. They were all lies.
Lies?
Oh, what a horrible truth! If the memories from the flashback lights are lies, then everything was a lie! Oh, the suspense and foreshadowing was for nothing! Can you believe it? It's like everything that happened didn't matter at all.
Well, that is what it means.
Huh?
Lies are just like snowballs. The more you roll them, the bigger they get. The bigger they are, the more fun and shocking it is when they're revealed.
That's why everything up till now has been lies. That's the truth.
The memories from the flashback lights were just lies?
It's just as Shuichi said. The flashback lights are not for recovering lost memories. They're tools for implanting new ones. The light they emit is actually information that has been converted to light waves. That light is beamed directly into the brain, causing a deja vu sort of phenomenon. The brain gets confused and thinks the info it just received happened in the past.
We were just confused?
For example, your memories of being students of Hope's Peak Academy?
Fake! You guys don't have anything to do with Hope's Peak Academy.
None of us were ever students there. It was just a fake memory.
We're not students from Hope's Peak?
Yep, that was all fake.
Looking back, it was a mistake to have you remember Hope's Peak.
I didn't originally plan on giving you those memories, but I was in a rush and overlooked all those inconsistencies, so you figured it all out.
It's hopelessly the worst!
So So that's why Kokichi had to die?
Good job, Mr. Detective. You got it.
The only reason we thought Kokichi was a remnant was because of the flashback lights. But he did say that he was the leader of a cult organization. That was a lie he invented himself. He wanted to be the mastermind. He wanted us to believe it. That's why he lied. He usurped the mastermind's role, but in doing so, became a thorn in their side. So to get rid of that hindrance, the mastermind played along with the lie. The mastermind manipulated us into thinking Kokichi was a remnant of despair.
At the same time, having everyone remember Hope's Peak Academy made you guys target him because you thought he was a remnant of despair.
You were using the flashback lights to control us?
Then the reason I tried to kill Kokichi was...
You were being controlled by false memories, like putty in the mastermind's hands. But Maki wasn't the only one being controlled. You all were! Remember when Kokichi revealed the truth of the outside world? You all got so depressed, you couldn't even focus on the killing game!
Wait, then, to make us recover from that, you...
Yep, we gave you memories of being Hope's Peak Academy students, the symbol of hope.
So you all could face despair.
You controlled us with that big memory?
Well, it wasn't just that memory. It was all of them up till now. New mysteries and truths turn to motivation. Motivation drives a story. Everything from the flashback lights was just motivation to move you forward. But I guess it was fake motivation.
You idiots kept getting jerked around by meaningless lies!
This class trial was like that too, wasn't it? Why was it you were so motivated to do it? Because you got a memory from one of the flashback lights, right?
Was that also a memory you used to control us?
Hey, what was it you guys remembered from it again? At first, you ran away from the Gopher Project, humanity's last hope. But then, you bravely chose to accept your fate. You took on all the wishes of your friends and family. And now, you remember how you got here. You remembered that you had all been entrusted with the world's hope, right? Remembering the weight of that hope should have made you feel stronger. I have to escape! I'll never give up! I won't be defeated by the mastermind!
Even though Kaito and Kokichi were gone, and Kibo started to go berserk, you guys didn't give up hope. You decided to face this killing game, right?
You were controlling our emotions? Even our resolve to defeat the mastermind?
This is a killing game. A death game where emotions run like blood.
If the participants aren't trying their best to live, it's just not very exciting.
Oh, the memories were fake? Then what was everything till now? That memory, and 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 that... If they were all fake memories, then... Where are we? Why are we in this killing game?
Yeah, who knows? My plans for mankind's last killing game kinda just fell apart. So figure out why on your own. This is a class trial after all.
Then, who are you? I don't know who you are.
Huh? What's not to understand? I became me.
If this killing game is connected to Hope's Peak Academy, then I believe you. This is certainly the work of someone carrying on Junko Enoshima's will. But we have nothing to do with Hope's Peak, so you can't be Junko. So who the hell are you?
I'm me, no one else.
What? Okay, I apologize for being a bit quiet through that, but I just kind of wanted to keep going to see what in the world is going on. And it's also getting pretty late because I've been going for a long time, and I'm getting kind of tired. But that was like someone just sucker punched me. I just uh. I think that just that one got me. Of all the things, the twists and turns, just having Hajime pop up and just smack me in the face. That got me. Well then. Okay, it has been almost 3 hours. I need to go to bed. And so, even though this is a very critical point, I think I'm going to stop here. You know, and then next time, hopefully we're not too far from the, what is it, intermission. Next time, we'll probably just breeze through that, get to the intermission, and then just keep going. So don't worry about that. But, I just, after getting that, I feel like now might be a good time to stop. Because if I keep going, I'm just trying to process everything. I'm not really commenting on much. I think it would do me good to just take a break and come back at this and kind of try to digest everything that's been going on, because oh boy, this is a lot. Okay. I mean, a good portion of it has been expected, with the whole false memories things, but I don't think I thought about them to the extent that, as to what is being revealed here. I probably should have thought about the first trial more. I didn't want to believe it was Tsumugi. And because I didn't remember that Tsumugi went to the bathroom during that whole first trial thing. So I'm sure if I had gone back through all of that, maybe I could have remembered. But yeah, that's certainly, man. So I was just really thrown off with the whole, and it was intentional, of course, the Kaede and the sister thing. I mean, because now everything is suspect. Completely everything is suspect now. So, but I mean, so what happens now? Because if there truly is no one watching, and I mean, we did see that scene with this Makoto character, and that wasn't shown to anyone, and that wasn't like something like a flashback light memory. So I don't know what that. So is this Junko? I can't believe it's Junko again. I haven't even acknowledged it until now, but I guess I have to acknowledge it now. Is Junko just lying again? Are there people watching or not? Or if it... Okay, let's stop here. Let's catch our breath, and then we'll fall back. Wait, no, wrong button. Don't do that. Man, I wanted to leave it on Hajime's face, but I guess not. We'll leave it on Shuichi's shocked expression, which I feel like we're all feeling a bit right now. Okay, let's call it here. Let's not press the wrong button again. I've been the Worm. This has been Danganronpa V3 on the roller coaster that is the final trial. I hope you're all doing all right, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.